Hi, my name is George Clements, and this is a tutorial that I created for the song Never Going Back Again. This video and more like it are going to be available on my Patreon page. So if you like what you see here and you'd like to support me, feel free to follow the link below in the comments section or at the link at the end of this video, where you can become a patron and support me for $5 a month. And I'll be uploading more videos like this one, as well as a monthly live concert stream. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Hi, my name is George Clements, and welcome to my Patreon. Today we're going to be learning Never Going Back Again by Fleetwood Mac. So let's tune up and dive right in. So this song is traditionally played out of F sharp major, out of drop D tuning, with a capo at the 4th fret. But my arrangement, I play out of C major in standard tuning. So I'm just going to play it for you now so you can watch what my right hand's doing, what my left hand is doing, and get a sense of the overall arrangement. 3, 4. Alright, now I'm going to break it down phrase by phrase and play each phrase slowly so we can see what's happening in my right hand and what I'm doing with my left hand. Alright, here's phrase 1. Even slower. Alright, so let me just talk a little bit about what my right hand is doing. Most of the time when I'm playing this kind of fingerstyle guitar arrangement, my thumb is going to be playing the notes on the low E string, on the A string, and on the D string. And then my top 3 fingers, index, middle, and ring, are going to be playing all the notes on the top 3 strings, the G string, the B string, and the E string. Sometimes they'll shift. Sometimes maybe these 3 fingers will move from the top 3 strings to the middle to the next set. But most of the time they're going to be on the top 3 strings, with the thumb taking care of all the notes on the lower 3 strings. So, with that concept in our mind, when we do that first phrase, I like to think of my thumb pattern is this. So first I might try and just practice the thumb pattern and really think about what notes I'm playing in the chord. The root, the 3rd, to the root, to the 5th of the G chord, to the root, to the 3rd, to the 5th, to the 3rd. And then let's add in the fingers. So we're going to go thumb and then a squeeze with these 2 fingers on the G string and the B strings. And then the next little bit is so that's thumb, index, and then a squeeze between my thumb and my middle, and then a hammer on with my first finger. So, and then the last little bit goes like this. So I'm always trying to think about where are the fingers lining up with the thumb, And when are the fingers playing opposite the thumb? So when the thumb is not playing. So in that last phrase, you can hear when the fingers are lining up with the thumb. So that's something to be aware of when you're practicing. When are the fingers lining up with the thumb pattern? So first get that thumb pattern down with your chord changes. And then try and add the fingers in. So, that's how we're going to approach learning this song. Alright, here's phrase 2. It's very similar to phrase 1, except instead of a G major chord, we're going to play a G dominant 7th chord. So it's like this, nice and slow. There's that G7. Again, nice and slow. Alright, here is phrase 3, which is my favorite phrase of the song. This is going to be over a G7 chord. It's the same voicing we used in phrase 2, with the root of the chord played with our middle finger, the flat 7 of the chord played with our ring finger, and the 5th of the chord, D, played with our pinky finger. So we've got G, F, and D. And our right hand, our thumb pattern is pretty straightforward. It goes like this. Root, flat 7, root, flat 7, root, flat 7, boom. And then we're going to get the 3rd of the chord right there at the end of the phrase. So it goes. And then our ring finger and our middle finger are going to be playing this kind of 3-note hemiola is what they call it, over this 8th note pattern that our thumb is doing. So without the thumb it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Right, pretty easy. But when we combine it with the thumb, it gets a little tricky. So you really just have to try and think about where are the fingers lining up with the thumb. So doing it nice and slow, it sounds like this. Didn't get that B there. It goes. Right, so that's phrase 3. Alright, take that one nice and slow. Alright, now we're on to phrase 4. This one is a little bit tricky as well, but if you take it slow, it should be no problem. This one goes like this. I'll start it playing it nice and slow. We're going to start with our C shape. And the thing to recognize here is that our fingers have shifted from that top set of strings to this next set of strings. So now my ring finger is kind of anchored on the B string, and my middle finger is on the G string, and then my first finger is on the D string. So it goes like this. And now I've shifted back to the top 3 strings with my fingers. So that's the trickiest part, is this kind of shift. So it starts with a squeeze between these. So real slow. Squeeze. G string. Then I'm going to do these two notes of this G7 chord, and I'm going to slide up to these two notes, which are G and E, and then I'm going to get the root G with my first finger. So it goes. So I'm not even hitting those notes. I'm just sliding up to them. So the only thing that's happening there is my thumb on the G. So dum, bum, ke, and I slide back down, and then back to our C. So, one more time. Squeeze with our thumb and our ring finger, middle finger, and then we're going to get these two notes and pluck them with our index and our ring, sliding up. Our thumb hits the root of this G chord, and then back to the F and the D, and then back to our C chord, and then our fingers shift back to the top set of strings for the final pattern. Squeeze. All right, so that's phrase 4. Take it nice and slow. All right, let's get into the B part now. This one starts up in 8th position, and we're going to play the C major chord up here. This is kind of like your E movable bar shape. And we're going to be jumping to this little, it's kind of like a G7, G dominant 7th with a D in the bass. So we're going to go from here to here in the left hand. And our right hand, our thumb pattern goes like this. Right? So that's what the thumb is doing. And the fingers are going like this. Okay, again, slow. So that pattern repeats itself 3 times. So 1, again, third time, so that's nice. Phrases 1, 2, and 3 of the B part, pretty much identical. So, just make sure you take that slow. I think the trickiest part of this is this moment where you have to do I call this a backward roll. I'm going from my ring finger to my middle finger to my index finger. Right? So it's not hard to do on its own, but when you link it up with the thumb pattern, which is do it nice and slow. It's right. Right, so if you can find a little isolation in your brain about what my thumb pattern is and what my finger pattern is, then it's just a matter, once again, of seeing where they line up. So, take that nice and slow, and it's really fun once you get it. Alright, we're in the home stretch here. This is the final phrase of the B part. We're going to be going from an A minor chord to an E minor chord, back to A minor, ending on a G major. So the bass motion for these goes like this. From the A minor, we're going to go from the root to the fifth. On the E minor, we're going to go from the root to another root, so an octave, back to the A minor, fifth, and on the G major chord, we're going to do from the G note to the D note, another fifth. So try and get that down first, and then let's get the fingers happening. So that's like a squeeze. It's just these two fingers. So it's kind of a I'm only using my ring finger once to get that high G note. So one more time. All right. That's the final phrase. Then we're just going to go back to the A section. And then you repeat. Alright, we made it. Alright, congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. I hope you've had fun learning this song. It's one of my favorite songs to play on the guitar. It's challenging for the right hand as well as for the left hand, getting the dance between the two hands happening. It's a really satisfying process once you get it, but just remember to take it slow and slowly increase the speed once you feel like you can do it correctly. That's always been my secret to getting better, is doing things slowly and then progressively speeding it up. So, thanks again for watching, thanks for supporting my Patreon, and I hope to see you for another lesson. Happy practicing!